Well, good Tuesday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6 a.m. on this September the 28th. Might I say, Central Georgia, Tuesday? It looks good on you. I'm Lonnie Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck, and this forecast is looking great for all this week, Courtney, really.
It is. It's going to be great. If you like sunshine and warm temperatures, this week has your name written all over it. It's going to be fantastic. Right now, a little bit of a cool morning out there. 61 right now in the city of Macon. Of course, you're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Humidity not half bad. Dew points are in the upper 50s and low 60s. I'll show you that map in a second. So while that's not super crisp and cool, so as you walk out the door, it's not going to necessarily feel super fall-like, but it's also not really sticky. So we're kind of just in between. 62 right now temperature-wise in Warner Robins, 63 in Montezuma, 61 in Dublin and in Wrightsville, and we're at 62 in Monticello. Here's a look at those dew points. So upper 50s, low 60s. On the dew point scale, that's still considered humid, but it's not tropical, and we'll take that. And they're going to stay typically in the upper 50s and low 60s as we go through this whole week. Right now, quiet on live radar. Don't have to worry about any rain as you head out the door, and that's going to be the case all day long today. Nothing but sunshine. Temperatures by noon will be near 80, and we'll top out in the mid 80s today. We do have a little bit of a warming trend on the way this week. I'll take you through that and talk about when we could maybe see rain. That's all in my full forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. This morning, Donnie Rowe's defense plans to continue calling witnesses they hope can keep him off of death row.
A jury found Rowe guilty of killing 2 state corrections officers aboard a prison bus in Putnam County in 2017. So far, jurors listened to more than 10 defense witnesses, including cousins, who talked about his abusive upbringing.
Prisons and jail operations expert Ronald McAndrew also testified, showing step by step how Rowe would be detained if he gets life without parole. Well, Georgia first responders, you could soon see some extra cash in your wallet.
Governor Brian Kemp announced a $1,000 bonus yesterday for people like law enforcement officers and school resource officers. Counties have to apply for that money between October 1st and December 31st. The governor says the money comes from the American Rescue Plan. And coming up around 6:34 this morning, you'll hear from one Central Georgia sheriff on who he thinks this will help the most. And today is National Voter Registration Day. It comes with this year's November elections just over a month away.
I know it's coming up quickly, but this morning we're looking ahead to next year's races and how a rally in Central Georgia this past weekend could impact them. Former President Donald Trump called out top state leaders who did not support his attempt to overturn the Georgia election results during the Save America rally in Perry that was held on Saturday.
He took jabs at Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and Governor Brian Kemp, even calling the governor a, quote, complete disaster. Now, the former president not only attacked the top state GOP officials, he endorsed candidates to fill 2 of those positions. Jody Hice for Secretary of State, Burt Jones for Lieutenant Governor. He also endorsed Herschel Walker for U.S. Senate. But
he did not endorse a candidate for governor, instead saying at one point that Governor Kemp's Democratic opponent in 2018, Stacey Abrams, might be a better governor. So how could this impact the 2022 election for the governor's seat?
It's not going to be on the Trump ticket. As I say, that I don't think it hurts him in the Republican primary because he doesn't really have a very strong opponent there. But it could be hurtful to him as he goes into the general election.
Bullock says that's because some voters could vote solely for the Trump-endorsed candidates and not for governor if Kemp is the nominee, potentially tipping the election in favor of a Democratic candidate.
All right, now at 13WMAZ.com, you can read what some state GOP leaders say about whether there's a divide in the Republican Party and the potential impacts for next year's elections.
Warner Robins homeowners, the millage rate, it's not changing, but you could see an increase in property taxes. Yesterday, City Council voted to keep the millage rate the same. It's currently at 9.98 mils. City Clerk Mandy Stella says the county checks property values every 3 to 5 years, and about 95% of properties increased in value. That means even though council kept the same millage rate, most people will see an increase in property taxes. Stella says how much more depends on whether you live in the Houston or Peach County part of the city. If your property values stay the same, your tax bill will too. Sticking in Houston County today, people are celebrating the opening of a new government building in Perry. Commission Chairman Tommy Stoninger says the project finished about a month early and around $70,000 cheaper than expected. He says crews broke ground back in December of 2020. That's a $20,000 square foot building on Kings Chapel Road you're taking a look at. It's home to the Board of Elections, the county's agents, and Natural Resources Conservation offices. Now, he says the building gives more space to store voting equipment, train poll workers, and hold early voting for city elections. The county hosts a dedication ceremony that's happening at 11 this morning.
Also today, Macon-Bibb County leaders are moving forward on plans to cut down on violence. County Communications says Mayor Lester Miller and the Macon Violence Prevention Leadership Team will hold a day-long strategic planning retreat. It goes from 9 to 5 today at Mercer. The University of Georgia's Carl Vinson Institute of Government will facilitate that event. Nearly 40 people representing over 20 groups will review the data and info collected from more than a dozen previous forums. And some changes getting Macon-Bibb Planning and Zoning stamp of approval. The board voted unanimously to allow Yola to use a refurbished travel trailer to serve drinks and food in their back garden. That's according to Liz Fabian, one of our partners with Mercer Center for Collaborative Journalism. Kelly Kolb, representing the Latin-inspired eatery, says the trailer will go in the back corner of their backyard in front of a privacy fence. And a paper processing plant employing about 20 people will be the first tenant in the Middle Georgia Industrial Park at the Old Westgate Mall. Renfro Construction sought approval for the company to convert raw paper into napkins and other products. We have a full roundup of yesterday's meeting for you on 13WMAZ.com. Time's now 6:06. I was actually at Yola outside on Saturday night, and there were so many people just out and about downtown because it was so
The weather
nice outside.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Perfect weather to do anything.
That's right, and you have to take advantage of it because it's not all the time where we get these nice long stretches of nice weather, you know? So enjoy it while it lasts, everyone. Of course, it will eventually have to change, but this week, our forecast is looking pretty much like what you're seeing behind me and now on your screen. Yes, look at how cute this face is. This is Winston. This photo is from Lori Gay, and if you are planning on maybe taking the dog for a walk any time of day, you have the green light for it. It's going to be a great day. Lots of sunshine. Of course, the morning is going to be probably the most comfortable time of day, although our humidity really isn't going to be half bad as we go through the day. But mid-80s, it's going to be a warm afternoon out there. Right now, you are looking live on top of the Fred Roberts building in Dublin. Those of you getting ready to maybe head out the door, it's a pretty cool start out there, so maybe a light jacket wouldn't be a bad idea as you get ready to head out for work, and all the students heading out to the bus stop. It might not be a bad idea, especially if you have to wait outside for the bus, to just have something light with you to keep you a little bit more toasty. 61 right now in the city of Dublin. Humidity, again, really not that bad. Dew points in the upper 50s. Isn't sticky. It's also not really crisp, but it's just right, right in the middle. So high pressure and control, that's giving us our nice and dry and clear start to the day. If you look up in the sky, you're going to see all the nice stars, and of course we'll probably have a beautiful sunrise underway. To our north is a front, and this front is going to push to the south and move through central Georgia, but unfortunately it's not going to usher in much of any cold air. We'll have our temperatures go down slightly, but high pressure is also in control in the upper levels, and that is blocking the jet stream from dipping south and pulling with it all that cool air. So this ridge of high pressure in the upper levels is going to stay put. What is that going to do for us? Give us a warming trend. Notice the dip in the jet stream all the way out to the northwest. That's going to spill in some cool air in parts of the northwest like Oregon and out towards Montana and Colorado over near the Rockies. For us, our forecast is going to stay very much the same, dry and warm. Now, as we head into next week, despite the fact that that cold front will move through Thursday and Friday, we're not going to get that dip in the upper levels, so all the cool air will stay trapped to our north. Come next week, though, notice we're not going to have any big dips up and down. We call that meridional flow in the meteorology world. We'll have our jet stream simply move from west to east, so that's going to keep our temperatures seasonable. We're not going to have any big dips in our temperatures, but we're also not going to have a huge warm up. We'll stay in the mid to upper 80s, and that's where we'll be today. Temperatures will climb again, mid 80s. This is just about where we were yesterday. Lots of sunshine to pair with it. As we head through the overnight, we'll do it all over again. Low 60s for tomorrow morning. And as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we'll kick off that warming trend again with high pressure and control at the surface and the upper levels. That will create that warming trend until that front dips in and cools us down by just a degree or two. When it comes to the humidity, not going to be half bad. We'll stay in the 60s, so that's not super comfortable and really pleasant, but it's also not very muggy either, and we'll take that as temperatures start to warm. When it comes to the tropics, those are also heating up. We have Hurricane Sam, a major Category 4 hurricane. Thankfully, this will stay off the coast and not be a threat to land. We also have a couple of other disturbances coming off the coast of Africa. Both of these with a 70 to 90% chance of development over the next 2 and 5 days respectively. Not going to be an issue for us either. Looking long range, those look to also stay away from land, but we'll still keep an eye on it. Your 7-day forecast looks like this: warm and dry all the way through this work and school week. And as we kick off October, our next rain chance could maybe come by next Monday.